Hola, buenos días. A ver si se conecta gente. Hoy tenemos un directo con Nara y Vanessa Pellisa. A ver si está Nara. Y voy a ver si está Vanessa también. Buenos
Hola,
días,
¿qué
Nara.
tal? Buenos días.
Muy
¿Qué tal?
bien, muy bien, muy bien. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy.
De nada. Gracias a ti.
No, no, no. Es un placer que nos estés ayudando con estas entrevistas. Son muy, muy, muy interesantes. Una manera de
Gracias.
conocer a los talleristas que tenemos.
Claro.
Voy a ver si Vanessa está por aquí
Ya
ya.
está.
Ay,
Buenos días, toda la gente que está acá. Estoy viendo que hay muchas brasileñas y también portuguesas y también, por supuesto, españolas.
hola, Vanessa.
Hola,
Hey!
Vanessa.
Buen
Hola,
día.
hello! How are
Buen
Bueno,
you?
día.
pues Nara hará una pequeña entrevista a Vanessa sobre los talleres que imparte, que son 3 talleres. Uno de ellos ya está agotado. Se agotó, creo que fue el primer taller que se agotó.
Yay.
La entrevista será en inglés, pero luego subiremos el vídeo en YouTube y se pueden activar los subtítulos automáticos. De todas formas, en nuestro canal de YouTube hay un vídeo de Vanessa ya explicando sobre los talleres en castellano, así que si no entendéis inglés, podéis ver el vídeo que ya está subido desde hace bastante tiempo en YouTube y si no, esperad a que subamos este y podéis activar los subtítulos automáticos. Pues cuando queráis, chicas.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you, Anna, and I'd like to thank you again, all the Barcelona Knits organizers for the invitation and for the opportunity for me to be here talking to the great Vanessa, and because I'm such a fan of your work, and I'd like to know firstly, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's awfully hot in Barcelona today, but Anna knows. But I decided I want to wear one of my designs, and if I
I see.
faint, it's because of the heat. But other than that, I'm so happy to be here and so honored to be talking to you. So nice. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So, Vanessa, maybe some people who are watching us do not know so much about you, that much about you. So, would you please present yourself and tell me something that I'm very curious about, that your background in music industry. I was so curious to know about that. Could you
Yeah.
please tell us a little bit about it, and then about your knitting background also?
Yes, definitely, definitely. It's always weird to talk about oneself and explain who one is, right? I'll do my best. But I'm a knitwear designer, and it feels very weird to say that sometimes. I started designing patterns in October 2019. And I counted them today because I thought I'm going to count them. 47 designs ever since, which
Yeah.
is, sounds like a crazy amount. I love knitting, as all of us do. And I'm also a trained tech editor, and I train in pattern writing and pattern making. And I have a background in fashion design. But my life until the last 5, 6 years was completely different. I was working in the music industry, as you mentioned. I'm an English major. I major in literature, basically, not in language, but in literature. And I traveled a lot. I loved music from a very young age. And I was very involved in the indie music scene in Europe for many years. I ran a record label, and I worked for many record labels abroad. I moved to Hamburg, I moved to Sweden, in Malmö, I moved to Seattle working for several record labels. And I basically manage bands and publish records, which is
Right.
not as I can't play anything. I'm unable to play not even a tambourine, worst player ever. But I love music, and I love the idea of publishing records, which seems so old-fashioned right now, right? Because
Right.
it's all changed so much. I've also spent a long time in my life talking and writing about books for several magazines and radio stations, and I've devoted a lot of time to the cultural industries in general. Knitting, although it may seem very different to all of this,
Yes.
for me, it does not feel too different, or at least the way I approach it. So I run my knitting business, my small knitting business, the same way I run my record labels. Passion is the fuel that makes things move forward. You're on your own, totally DIY. You have to be able to take pictures, create designs, run teams, all on a very limited, tight budget all the time.
Yeah.
Making ends meet sometimes sounds impossible, but you make it, and it's very satisfying. And knitting to me and music are very, very similar, surrounded by passionate people who love the trade. And knitting festivals are very similar to music festivals as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean, we drink tea and coffee, and it's a bit more healthy if you'd rather, but a healthier approach perhaps sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But yes, definitely full of fans. Fans would make knitting and music very similar, I think. That was a long answer.
Oh, that's nice. I was so curious about it, and I found it very interesting, and now it makes sense. It makes all sense. So let's talk a little bit about your workshops in Barcelona Knits. You will be teaching, as Anna said, 3 workshops and very interesting topics. And one of them is sold out, the sticking one, the stick one. And I thought that it's very curious also, because there are many knitters, courageous knitters, right, to cut their knits. And I just did one workshop about sticking also, and I was, oh my God, is that right? Can I do this? And after you do that, you were like, I can do anything. If I cut my needle, my knit, I can do anything in life.
Totally.
So you should be very brave. Exactly. Maybe that's why it was the first one to be sold out. So. And then there is 2 more workshops you will be teaching. So could you please explain to us, tell us a little bit more about each one?
Definitely. I agree with you that the sticking workshop, if you're coming to that workshop, you'll find it very empowering. Once you're in, there's never a turn back. You always be super safe about cutting your knitting. Definitely that one. As for the other 2 workshops, I'm teaching my first introduction to design workshop ever, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I love teaching. I feel very comfortable teaching, and I think a lot about the workshops and how I prepare them. There's a lot of time devoted to coming up with a good dynamic in class and so on. But to talk about design, I always felt a bit weird about it, like, how am I going to teach anyone to create a design? I mean, it's something that I do, but I don't even know how I do it sometimes. Right. So, I sat down with it, and I came up with a lot of ideas, which I also hope are very empowering. And I think that when you create something, it's all about overcoming many fears and many doubts that you have. So this workshop has a very practical approach to help you overcome these fears. Like, you want to create a design, even if it's a design for yourself or a design that you want to sell, you can do it. You just need to know how to begin, how to get started. And once you're in the mood and you allow yourself to create that, you'll be fine. So this is the approach to this workshop, where we'll use our favorite. We only talk about sweaters, because I thought I had to narrow down the topic a little.
Of course.
And I ask knitters to bring their favorite sweater. and we analyze that sweater and we think about what makes that sweater so perfect in their eyes, and try to distill the ideas that make it such a perfect garment so that they can apply that to their own designs. By analyzing the things that we like, we analyze the things that we want to make. So that's like the first step. And then we talk about, of course, we talk about grading and techniques and clarity. It's a small workshop. I could spend months talking about that, but just an introduction. But I think it's a good way to get started.
Right.
That's the introduction. I think it's called El Jersey Perfecto, the perfect sweater. Does exist. So you just so that's that. I think there are very few spots available for that one. Last time, I think there are very few spots. For
yeah,
that.
I can check it now. I will check. You continue. You continue.
Yes, okay. As per the other workshop, I think it's probably one of those workshops that when I came up with the idea for it. So when you're in a knitting festival, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
You want to buy so much yarn. There's so much going on. There's so many colors, so much noise, so many people, so many hugs. And the intensity of this knitting festivals, I feel it requires a certain respite every now and then. And this workshop, I imagine it as a moment to sit down and feel super comfortable, super emotional about what you're doing, to reconnect with the emotions of your knitting. A very personal journey. It's a blend of two workshops that I've done in the past. I'm very interested in the Gansi and Aran cabling traditions. Super interested about them. I love the historic background, the feminist background behind them. And I love the result. I love Gansis. I love how beautiful the sweaters look like and how simple they are in the end. So I created a workshop that begins its narrative talking about that tradition, where these designs come from, and uses the idea that these designs were incredibly personalized to every person's story, personal history, and family history, and how they created the stories of their families within the stitches. So, for example, Ganses have different patterns, and every pattern has a symbol, and that symbol creates a story. So you can be talking about the story of your family by creating a seed stitch that refers to wealth, and then cables that refer to the birth of kids in the family. And you're telling your story as you create this garment. So I'm going to explain that in depth and with more tools. And then I'm going to ask knitters to create their own design, telling their own stories. So everyone will come out of the workshop with a design that tells the story of their lives, or whatever they want to tell, or the story of the lives that they want to lead, or the story of their family, of their creating this for somebody else. And it's like sequence knitting, a blend of sequence knitting, Aran, Ganses, and structured and textured knitting. So I think it's also very current. There's a lot of texture going on now in the knitting world, right?
Yeah, right. And how come did you get in touch with this Ganse culture or designs? Do you have family? Do you have any backgrounds in that?
No, but as mentioned, I'm an English major, so I'm very interested in literature. There's an English literature and the history of the fishermen and the north of England. That's something that I've always been very interested in. So it's always pulled all the literature I love. So through that, I came to learn about the Gansi tradition. There's a lot of literature that you can find about Ganses. I think many beautiful and very interesting books about it. But what I love about them is that they can feel very current. We're talking about designs that were created 80, 90 years ago and still feel very current. So I also find that very, very appealing.
That's nice to hear. It's so interesting also. You know, here in Portugal, we have something it's similar in the north part of Portugal. We have these sweaters also that tell us the history of a family, but they are like patterns, like classic patterns of the family. And it's, when you were talking about it, I just recall this technique also.
What are they
Sorry?
named? What are they named?
In Portuguese, they are called, I have to, this is in the north part of Portugal, is like in the Minho region, and it's, I don't recall their names. I think it's like related to the fishermen, and there is also a link about the feminism, because the men went to the sea, went to sailor, went to all the stuff in the sea, and then the women were knitting to them. And so it's kind of similar. I can relate it. I will just search and send you the name exactly, and then you can.
It makes a lot of sense because it's the same fishing routes.
Exactly.
Through the north of the peninsula and the channel. So it does make sense that it's got a very similar tradition. I'm definitely going to check on that. I had no idea there was a tradition here, but I'll definitely check that out.
That's nice.
Nice, thank you.
And so, Vanessa, you told us many things and many interesting things and facts about your workshops. So if there are knitters that are still in doubt, because I don't have any doubts, if I could, I would like just take all your classes. What would you say to them about your workshops? Like, if you are in doubt, what should you consider to decide and come to my workshops?
Okay. I hope that if you come to my workshops, when you come out of the workshop, you feel like learning a lot more. So I think my workshops are not the end of the learning process, but just the very beginning. I hope they make you curious about things and that you want to go home and learn a lot more about what we've taught. So I hope that's my approach. And you'll have fun. That I promise.
Yeah, of course. So my friend Good for Knitters, who is Anna, helped me here and said camisolas poveiras, like poveiras, like sweaters, yes.
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out. Thank you so much for, oh my God, so many camisola poveiras coming from me next year, I promise.
Thank you, Anna, for helping me. So last but not least, I'd like to ask you something that I do ask for all my interviews, and which is, tell us a secret or something that nobody in this live stream would know about you. Are you a Gemini?
No. I'm a Libra.
A Libra, I see.
Do I look like a Gemini?
No, because the description of your profile in the website of the festival said that you talked a lot. And yes, I relate to that because I'm Gemini and I just don't stop talking at all. So I was like, oh my God, a Gemini friend, maybe.
Talkers.
Exactly. But my rising is in Libra, so that's why I think I identify myself with you.
There you go. Go. Okay, so a secret. Okay, this is not so. Okay, it's a secret. I go to bed every night for the past 15 years, watching Fraser reruns.
Really?
Every night for the past 15 years. I know all the dialogues by heart. I could tell them to you. It just eases me into sleep. A lot of people knit, a lot of people read. I just watch Fraser and I fall asleep.
Nice. It's a nice technique. I'll try that. Okay. So thank you, Vanessa, so much. It was very fun to talk to you and many curious and interesting things I didn't know about you and your work. And thank you, Anna, again.
You're welcome.
So I think we are having one more talk next week with Vera. And then I think we are done because we are so next to the festival and we are so excited to that, right?
Less than in 3 weeks we will be on the festival. It's crazy. So I checked the spots that there are in the Vanessa's workshops, and for the design there is only one spot available. Oh, and for the Gansei sweaters, there are 5 spots available. So it's now or never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, run, and after the live stream, just go to the Barcelona website and get your ticket as soon as you can, because they are running out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias a las dos. Os recordamos que dejamos subido el directo tanto aquí en Instagram como luego en YouTube. Y podréis activar los subtítulos si no entendéis inglés. Muchísimas gracias a las dos. Un placer, y en 3 semanas nos vemos y nos podemos abrazar. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Un buen fin de semana. Adiós.
Gracias a ti.